using my power to rise stronger after each fall, overcoming all obstacles and taking one step after the other to reach my goals. Choosing to grow, change, and write my own story with the help of those that walk on the same path. This is resilience in action.
Hi, thank you so much for being with us once more. My name is Jolie Chaides. This is Resilience in Action, and as always, together with Dr. Emilia O'Neill. How are you?
Hello, doing great. Enjoying the weekend after a very chaotic week. So that's what inspired this show today, and everything we're going to be talking about.
Well, in my case, try like a whole year, but it's okay. I'm here, still standing. Today we are going to talk about positive chaos. And before you think anything else, and you said, no, I don't want to hear this, believe me, this is something that I have been in chaos, and we all human beings have been in chaos. We want to hear this. Thank you for being here, and we're going to start, as always, with a reflection.
Yes, let's start with a reflection today, and let's just close our eyes for a moment, take a deep breath, and be present in this time. Give yourself permission to just be, to listen to what we have to share today. As always, we'd love to hear your comments. But just think that this is an opportunity you're giving yourself to listen to some experiences, to listen to some tips, and to say, this is me time, and I deserve it. And I just want to be in a calm, safe place for a little while. So just take a deep breath again and come back to us. And we start with this program that is called Positive Chaos. So here we go.
This is one of my safe spaces, and I am very thankful about that, especially when we have chaos in our life. You were talking about your Friday. I was talking about my week, and then we started to summary the whole year, right? Somehow, because if you think that this year is like a glitch on the matrix, like I feel, this is something that I was really interested in sharing also, like Emilia, because to stay strong and still during chaos and go through it, it's not easy, but it's possible.
Absolutely. I wanted to call this program Positive Chaos because when we hear the word, we always think about something negative. We always think about destruction, or we think about blockages, right? So remember that this is called Resilience in Action for a reason. We're talking about resilience as an ability that we have to face adversity, right? So when chaos takes place, we are talking about a revolution of things happening in our brains, in our surroundings, in our jobs, in our family, where we feel that we have to face all negative things. So it's about staying strong, it's about staying flexible, and it's about learning from what we have learned, from what we have experienced before. So when we talk about positive chaos, we're talking about a situation. I learned this from a professor that I love and admire. And she was talking about chaos as an opportunity. She described it as us being like in a box where we feel comfortable, when we feel safe, where we are surrounded by people that we know. And all of a sudden, this box starts shaking. And as it starts shaking, we start bumping into each other. We start bumping against the walls, and we start feeling confused, right? And then all of a sudden, one of the walls falls down, and then the next one, and the next one. So this is the time where we are facing a chaotic moment, and we have to make a choice. We have to choose whether to jump up or to fall down along with the box. And they tell us that if we choose to go down, what is going to happen is that we're going to find darkness, we're going to find death, because we are in a place where there's no more growth, there's no more chances to to be a better person, or we're going to go crazy because we wanted to be better, we wanted to achieve more, but we chose the wrong exit, if you will. And then the other option is to jump up. And when we jump up, we are going to find a new level, a new box, if you will. I don't want it to sound like something that entraps us, no, but a new level where everything is new, the walls are new, this box is strong, and there are other people there that are more similar to us, that share more of our values, of our ideas, and that allow us to continue to grow. It is also a place where there's confusion, where there's chaos, no? But in this case now, the chaos is a positive one if we know how to handle it.
Yeah, for me, it's like those old boxes is like a video game. If you play video games, maybe you can relate. You finish a level because you completed all the tasks and all the missions or whatever you had to do on that level. And then everything, it ends for you to go to the next level. And it is new. You don't know what you have to do. You have to read the manual, the instructions sometimes in the video game, where to go, what door to open, what are the new characters in that level. I think in life is exactly the same. But what I actually take from this is something that makes me not to actually go crazy is to think that I finished a level, that I did something, and now my life is ready for something else. And that's a very nice sentiment.
Absolutely. And it's knowing that whenever there's stress, because when there is chaos, there is stress. When we talk about chaos in these examples, we're talking about change, right? After all, chaos is that movement of things, of ideas, of experiences that are trying to reorganize. And that stress produces emotions. And it's going to produce fear, anger, frustration, paralysis, all of those emotions that our brain uses to protect us. So remember that when we are under stress, there's two emotions. One is fear, where we can flight, right? We can run, we can play dead, if you will. And there's anger that can take the form of frustration, irritability, violence, aggression. So it is normal when we confront a situation like that to feel all of those emotions or one or the other. I was sharing with Yoli and in our program in Spanish, no, we were talking about how my week had gone as I had programmed it. No, I had training, I had my clients, I was working on the book, thinking about our chapter, our show. And then my plan was to spend Friday at home because we were expecting some bad weather and just relax and be content. And I was telling Yoli, I don't believe in these things, but now I believe that Friday the 13th is a bad day. It's bad luck.
It's
because
something real.
everything worked opposite to what I wanted. I needed to see somebody who was in a very bad crisis. A friend of mine had an accident and we had to drive in the middle of this storm, which was nerve-wracking because it was a bad storm. And I had to meet with some high-rank people. So I was exhausted. I was frustrated. I was angry because it was like, this is not what I had planned. I don't like it. I don't wanna. No? So it's recognizing. That's our first step. Remember, we always talk about mindfulness. We always talk about living with intention. So this is the time when chaos attacks to take a deep breath and say, okay, things are not going my way, or they take me by surprise. I have to acknowledge my emotions and say, yes, I feel frustrated and it's okay. Yes, I feel scared and it's okay. And then once we recognize them, remember, we name a monster, we can handle it better. So now I know I'm scared. I can take a deep breath and say, okay, what is scaring me? in this experience I'm sharing with you, I was scared because I could not see a thing while I was driving. And I had not been in a snowstorm like that ever in my life. So it was like, yeah, welcome to Alaska, but I don't like this part, no? So it was like I recognized I was pretty scared. And then I took a deep breath and I said, okay, now pay attention, see where you're going, check with the car in front of you, things that allowed me to organize that chaos. So when we talk about chaotic scenes, it's like walking into a room where everything has been thrown all over the place. So it's a mess, right? It doesn't have a form or a shape. So by taking a deep breath and being present and being intentional, now I can find in this mess one thing, like a thread. And I say, okay, let me pull this out of this yarn ball and start giving it a shape and saying, okay, what is happening is I'm afraid because I haven't driven under these conditions. I can do it. And then the thinking brain is reconnected and saying, okay, what do we need to do to make this work? And we draw from our past experiences, we draw from the learnings that we have, and we say, okay, I remember that my husband said you need to drive slower, the way you brake is different, no? And it was like, okay, I can do this. So out of chaos, as Einstein used to say, order. And order comes from using my strengths. Remember, resilience in action. I'm using the strengths that I have, the experiences that I have to control the things I can control and let go of the things I cannot. If I had stayed angry because it was Friday and I couldn't be at home, then I wouldn't have been able to concentrate on the things that I had in front of me. So how does that sound, Yoli?
Oh, that sounds great, because that is exactly what we can do right in the middle when chaos starts, when the first wall of the box falls down. It's when we start to feel something weird and something's happening here. And if we let the brain say, like, danger, danger, we are going to go somewhere else. But all of this is what helps me to navigate in the middle until the chaos is order. And we talked about these two or like two programs before about living with intention. And if we are living with intention, I'm not saying that chaos is not going to affect you. I think it's always going to affect, no matter what, at some level. However, if I am living with intention, I know what I want. I know what I am doing with my life. If my job ended, well, if I like it, I will continue looking for someone like that, something like that, or something different. I don't know, but it's this clear intention of what I want. And when we know that, it's like the roads just open for you. Not that you don't have to work for it, but the roads are open. You get to the next box, and then you will have another type of people and your level, new characters that are going to be helping you, and other experiences that will take you to that place that it is in your intention. Chaos, I think, is not in the intention of anybody, because to feel that my whole world changed just in a second, no matter the event, it's not nice. It's unsettled. And it's okay, like Emilia said, it's okay if I feel sad, if I feel angry, and I feel frustrated, or whatever I am feeling that is not nice, just said it's okay. I mean, when we put resistance in feel our emotions, it's when things get harder.
Yeah, and it's not only about knowing where I want to go, because sometimes I don't. And sometimes I tell people, sometimes we start with where I don't want to go anymore, no? Sometimes we start with the things, the experiences that were negative, where I say, you know what? I know that having boyfriends that are too angry or too passionate in a negative way hurts me. And I pay attention and I learn from the experience. Remember, that's resilience, no? the next time I find somebody that is angry or a little bit too much, I am going to say, stop. That's not where you want to go. And I'm going to not get involved in a relationship that is going to hurt me again. I will continue to walk and say, okay, now that I don't know, now that I know that I do not want a person that is violent or too aggressive, now that clears away, as you say, Yoli, no? Where you say, okay, I don't want that. Okay, let's get rid of that. If you will, like, brush, no? Like, I don't want that. And now you see, oh, okay, so that means I want something or someone that is calm, that is more centered. Okay. And then the next thing is, I don't like this type of job where I am tied to a fixed schedule, for example. I had somebody talking to me about that the other day, not saying, you know what, I don't think I can do this. Okay. And she was really afraid of failing, no? Again, she said. I said, well, more than failing again, it's learning about the things that you don't like to do, that you don't want to do anymore, or learning that you want to try something new. But as we were saying before, it's new, but you're not starting from zero. No, you were saying that, Yoli, in our other show. It's you bring with you the learnings, the experiences that you achieved in the past experience or in the past job, in the past relationship. So it's remember that the only constant we have in life is change. And I know it sounds like a cliche, but it's the truth. And every time something changes, all the pieces move, right? So I always tell my clients in therapy, be prepared, because the moment you move, all the pieces will move. That's why my book has the pieces of a puzzle, no, in the front cover, because once I start reaccommodating, resettling those pieces in that chaos, it's going to look different. And I'm going to find the pieces that I already have, which are my strengths, my experiences, my values, my traditions, my friends, my family. And I'm going to also see more clearly the pieces that I am missing. So remember, we're talking about positive chaos in the sense that change brings us a lot of opportunities to be better and to use everything I have learned so far, and to learn the things that I don't want to do anymore, and to explore the things that I might enjoy.
Yes, and especially, and this is something that I don't know if we have achieved as humans, who say that in the end of the year we had to do like a summary of what I did, what I didn't achieve, or whatever. But right now, if you present chaos in your life at this moment, in the end of the year, I like to call that like the last cleansing of the year, because if something happens in the end, it's just because you're getting ready for the next step. And and like I said before, it doesn't feel nice. It happened. Emilia's Friday was my week, or at least 3 days of this week, because it was really unsettled. I had some unsettling news, but then when I let myself, because I did let myself to be frustrated and to be angry and to be sad and all that, I said, like, okay, what's next? And I can say that if I can give an example of how coming to this point, like, navigate or go with the flow, if you want to see it like that, gives you more things to look forward, even though I don't know where I am going right now, or kind of know. However, like, I started to be more calm, I started to be more accepting, and I said, like, okay, what I need to do, I started to work on some things. And today, like, out of nowhere, I had a me day where I had a beautiful facial, and I went to the salon, and only one thing was planned. And I am giving this example because it was a moment that it was not planned at a time of the day, that ended up being a morning for me to be relaxed and being very, very calm talking to you today. And I know that I could leave that and happened because I tried to navigate the chaos that I don't like. Really, I believe me, if you're like me, I don't like it. However, It's acceptance, right? What makes
Yes,
you free.
and I think that's the one of the ingredients, no, that we're talking about to handle chaos, to be more resilient. No, it's saying I accept what's coming because it's in front of me, and we go from there. The more we resist, the longer it will take, and you still have to move or change or die. No, as we say, you die spiritually, you die emotionally, because it's like standing in front of a truck that is coming against you, and you decide to stand there and say, I'm not going to move. No, I'm not going to change. So it's going to hit
That
you
sounds really harsh, but kind of, yes.
one way or another. No, so it's really saying, if I am afraid, I'm going to. I always tell people it's not about being brave, or being brave is not about not being afraid. No, it's about saying I choose to move forward. So I use my fear as a motor, no, as something that is going to push me forward. And I have love in my other hand. Remember that, no, have the clarity that we can have in the midst of chaos is love, it's compassion, it's acceptance, it's mindfulness. Those are the key ingredients for me to manage even the worst of chaos. And I am sure that, well, I know that all of us have had chaos because that's life, but I know that some of us have had it harder than others. And if you're still standing and if you're listening to us, that's because you have used all these ingredients to be stronger, to be resilient. And I am also sure that you have shared it with people around you. No? So remember that we don't have to go through chaos alone. It's something that I keep saying when I talk about resilience, right? It doesn't happen in solitude. So talk to a friend, talk to your therapist, talk to a teacher, talk to someone that you respect and admire and trust, because they can give you a different perspective. No, so remember, as Einstein said, out of chaos, control, out of chaos, order, because I am taking a deep breath. I am looking at that disaster, no, that the box left when it fell, and saying, okay, what do I keep and what do I take with me? So the next step is I am going to take all those experiences that helped me be a better person. I take all those elements that help me heal from the bad times, and I take all those things that make me stronger. And I take with me to the next box, the next level, the people that want to walk with me. I'm not going to push anybody. I'm not going to drag anybody, because on that next level, you want to be with people. And they say, no, that when we go to that next level, we are going to feel lonely sometimes because we are trying to find our tribe, no, or our people. But you will find them if you're paying attention and if you're trying to organize those things that you can control. The things that you cannot control, please let them fall with the older box. There's nothing we can do. So concentrate on those things you can control. Concentrate on meeting people that are positive like you, or that can help you be more positive. No, sometimes when we're down and we cannot see the light, we need somebody that says, hey, it's going to get better, that sits there with us, right?
A long, long time ago, when I was having way harder time accepting changes, many, many years ago, I asked somebody why it is so hard to get through it when changes, when the chaos come and everything turns out differently in the end.
Mhm.
And I remember that person, and it's something that I have been trying to master my whole life. And that person told me it's because you have to detach from the things that you are not going to have now with the change. And it's not like things end all the time when there is chaos, but when these chaos, that what we're talking about, these changes, especially when they're like life meaning changes, you always have to say goodbye to something or to somebody. And that is the hardest part. However, like Emilia said, I mean, resilience is not in solitude, and always it's going to be one person at least that can hear you and help you say like, yes, we have to detach, but we will find some other people and some other things to attach because we are humans and we do that. So it's just to navigate and say like, it's okay. I can let this go. If it was my job, if it was my boyfriend, if it was whoever or whatever, and
Yeah.
say like, okay, I will let it go. Maybe not right away, but we are in that understanding in our minds, on it, in that mind setup, right?
And I think it will happen naturally as well, no? And if we don't fight it, I think some of the friends that we had 20 years ago, 10 years ago, a year ago, will not follow us if we keep walking, because we are growing, we are learning, and maybe they are walking in a different path, no? They're walking in a different direction, and it's okay. I think one of my teachers in natural medicine used to tell me, no, it's say thank you, express gratitude for those things you learned from those people, from those friends, because if you separate, you'll always have the memories, you'll always have the learning, and you will not feel so sad, no? Because you had that time and it was wonderful. So it's the same thing with jobs, it's the same thing with experiences that we have had. And it's okay, no? If we learn to be in the moment, if we learn to be intentional, and we say, I'll just keep walking. There's always going to be new company and there's always going to be new challenges. And now that we're, getting close to the end of the year, it's a time to reflect on that, to say, hey, what is this chaos? How can I make sense of it? And which way do I want to go? Remember, it's okay if you have if you don't have like 100% clarity where you're going. Work on where you are not going anymore. Work on cleaning your space first, no? Organizing all the elements. Clean your soul, clean your mind, clean your heart, and say, okay, as the Buddhists say, no, in no motion there is motion. So if we can sit in the middle of this chaos and say, okay, now let me look around and see what I need, what I don't need anymore, and how can I make use of my experience? How can I make use of everything I have as treasures? No, how can I use them to get better and to follow my path? No, going upwards.
I told a client the other day in therapy, he had a major life event, that life change event. And I told him just as this is like like a tornado that came through your life and changed
Mm.
everything. I told him, just imagine yourself sitting in the middle of the tornado, and he did like, I mean, like, you're not going to fly away, because if you are still and just looking that tornado, and the tornado are all the things that moved because of the event, if you stay still, eventually all that motion is going to stop. But you can see in the meantime what is going on around, and maybe you can do like this and say, I want to keep this. And
Mhm.
if not, just go with the tornado. I don't care. But I have to
Mhm.
be still, because if I continue moving, the tornado is going to take me. That's for sure.
Uh-huh.
And it's like to be in the middle. I saw it like that. And I just told him that the other day. And I didn't know that I was going to sit in a tornado later. But it's fine. I mean, really, I'm fine, because it's it's fulfilling to know that, well, years, and not to beginning from zero, not from scratch, because I have experience and I have all the learnings and all the people that is right now with me. That's
That are
very
with you.
comforting, of course, that are with me right now.
And I think you can reach that space and that calmness because you went through the steps that we're talking about. No, you went through experiencing the frustration. This it was a big scare, no, and the sadness and the anger and all of that, and saying why, no, I mean, I thought everything was okay, and now you're throwing this at me, no. Um, and then you took a deep breath and you said, okay, let's look at this from another perspective, and said, okay, I have the experience and there's a reason for this to be happening. And I know I can handle it. No, it's looking at your your toolkit, no? What
Exactly.
have I done in a similar situation before? What can I do with that today? Is this a sign that is telling me that it's time to move, to go to a new thing? So it's listening to all those signals. It's listening to all those messages that appear in the midst of chaos, no? And really taking that opportunity. And I know that it's like a tradition, no? But that not many people practice. But at the end of the year, it's a good time, no? To say, okay, cleaning time, no? And what can I do to start over or to continue with my project in a better way, from a better place. So we will be talking about that in I don't maybe in our next episode, no, where we will talk about the things we can do to organize our ideas, to set new goals. But right now, it's really look back and look at all the chaos that you have experienced and how you made sense of each of those events during the year, during your life. And say, I have made it. No, I remember a dear friend asking me, Emilia, do you think you would be who you are today? She considers me a good therapist. No, that's why I love her.
Because you are.
She says, thank you. She says, do you think you would be as good if you had not gone through all those ugly things? And I remember telling her, if I could have chosen, I would have chosen not to go through those horrible things, even if it had taken a little longer to become who I am, no? I said, but that's what life gave me. And I am very fortunate that I had those people that modeled resilience to me, where I could say, it is what it is. And it's in front of me, like we said about the truck. So I can choose to step aside or just stand there and be hit by it, no? So I chose to step aside and learn from it, no? And said, no more. This is not, I know that chaos is going to happen to me again, but it's not going to be like this one. The elements are going to be different because I will be in the next box. And
They
when
will
that
be different.
starts shaking, it will be different because I am going to be ready. If I have learned and grown and evolved, then the jump will be different, the box will be different. And I choose to do that, no? So it's an invitation to look at those chaotic times in your life and say, how did I do it? How did I manage? Because that's where you're going to discover your strengths. And that's where you're going to discover how much you have changed and evolved and what a wonderful person you are.
To embrace them. I think that embrace your chaos because, yeah, when you are in the next chaos, things will be different because also you are different. So you won't
Absolutely.
feel it that bad because now you know better somehow, right?
Yes. Yes.
So let's summary. How can I put together all these skills to navigate chaos?
Yes. We come to the time of the 5 life skills that you can practice to be more resilient and to handle chaos. So remember, we always say awareness, intention, and living with the consciousness of what's going on around me. So pay attention, have a clear intention. Even as we said, if I don't know where I'm going, I know where I am not going anymore. No, so live with intention, acknowledge your emotions so you can handle them. I'm afraid, I'm angry. That way, you have named your monster and you can deal with it in a much better way. It doesn't take over, no? Or they don't take over. And then stop, breathe, so that you can organize the chaos by identifying the threat that is going to help you bring back order to your life. And where are we? We have that mindfulness. We have to choose to say, instead of an anchor, fear is going to be my motor to move forward. So positive thinking, positive intention, handling your emotions, putting an order to that chaos by looking at the elements and saying, this is what I need, this is what I don't need. And then your choice to jump up or let yourself fall down. Pretty much.
It's not that complicated. It sounds like it maybe, but it's not that complicated. And thank you so much for being here with us one more time. And remember, every Monday, we have a new episode in our channel in YouTube, in O'Neill Resilience Institute, and also follow us in social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We are always putting things that are related to everything that we talked about, because this is about you. This is your story, and you have to write it the way you want. And we are here just to share some things that maybe can help you to write it in a different way, or not writing it if you don't want to, right? Thank you so much.
We're here for you.
Thank you. And see you in the next episode. We are getting to the 2025. This is Resilience in Action.
Have a good night.
Bye.